I am Assistant Governor Ryan Jaluk from the Rotary Club of Roadtown in the British Virgin Islands, and I will be your host, moderator, or just trying to keep our speakers on time this evening. So it's good to see so many people with us today. I think I see 90. I think we're up to 98 so far, but that number is growing by the second. So we're going to give everybody just a few minutes to get themselves in. While we're waiting for persons to come in, I'm just asking everybody to please in the chat to just put your name, your club, and your role for next Rotary year. We just need this partly for attendance purposes, and so we can keep track as to who is attended, but also just to see who for your friends around the district, so you can see what clubs you're from, and sort of this is part of your networking. In a virtual world, it's hard to meet everybody face to face, but hopefully we do a good job on this. Also, my lovely background in the behind there, you would have received hopefully in your emails an image of the theme logo for this Rotary year. So I think it's going to be put in the chat. So Alicia, I don't know if you can quickly place it in the chat as well. A copy of the file, then you just download it. Go down to your start stop video, the little arrow there, and choose virtual background, add it, and put it in the background. If you do find that your face is disappeared in behind there, just click on, don't click on the green screen part, and hopefully it will look something similar to this. Hopefully, but if not, that's okay too. Feel free to keep your backgrounds on, but we want to keep everybody as similar as possible on in terms of our look and feel this evening. So it's great to see so many Rotarians, so many district leaders on as well. It's always important that we have representation for our district leaders. So I just want to quickly start off with a bit of protocol, just so we can recognize those persons on for today. I see DGE Louis Weaver, and I know First Lady Amanda is, I'm sure, very close beside him, as she always is. District Secretary-elect Anjali, I think I saw you as well. RI Director-elect Jeremy Hurst, our illustrious Rotary International Director-elect. Jeremy is in the house today. There's a number of past district governors that I've seen so far. I've seen PDG Rupert, I saw PDG Felix earlier. Assistant governors, I know there's a number of assistant governors on. District board members and district board members elect, our leadership team for next year, a number are on as well. Of course, we can't forget our president-elect and secretary-elect and treasurer-elects. This next 2 weeks is all about you. So welcome to PETS. Rotarians who are in the house today, Rotaractors who are joining us, and any friends and family who you might have gathered. I want a special shout out to my friends of the Rotary Club of Roadtown. They're having a watch party tonight. This is how crazy our Rotary Club of Roadtown is. They're hosting a watch party on the backside of their evening meeting. So I know they're probably all cheering and hooping and hollering, having a great time. So hopefully everybody enjoys it, enjoys our schedule. We have a packed schedule today, so I'm not going to take too much time. We have with us this afternoon, or this evening, PDG George Robert Burnett, who is speaking to us on effective communication. Then we have none other than our RI Director-elect, Jeremy Hurst, doing a presentation on hand wash, our very important project on hand wash. PAG Cheryl George Chance is speaking on health programs regarding polio, childhood obesity, and diabetes. Membership and attraction and engagement, PAG Marcelia will give us a talk on that, and then I'll close everything off. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to everybody our illustrious membership director for Zone 34, I believe, for PDG George Robert Burnett. So everybody, enjoy the evening, and George, the floor is all yours.
Well, thank you, Ryan. Good to see you all. And my good colleague Jeremy, I see, follows after me, so I'll try and leave everybody in good order, Jeremy. Thank you so much for the invitation, Lewis and Felix. And without more ado, I will share my screen because it's much better to have something else to look at. But thank you, DG Louis and PDG Felix, and thank you also, AG Ryan. It's great to be with you tonight, and I'll not waste time. I'll get straight into this. This is me. George Robertson Burnett. I'm the Rotary Coordinator for Zone 34, and if you've not come across Rotary Coordinators, let me tell you that our predominance is in membership. We have a small team that operates in Zone 34, and I am delighted to be part of the team with Felix Stubbs, Mr. Felix Stubbs, past District Governor, and a great member of the Zone team. So anyway, let me get into communication. This is a phrase that I came across a long time ago. Nobody told me we've got a communication problem. And you know what? I have seen this so many times. I've seen it in action. You know, we've got communication problems, but we don't actually know it. I arrived in the USA in 2004. Imagine a Scotsman arriving in Florida. You know, my accent is such that not everybody understood everything I was saying. That was for sure. And I got that phone call which said, "Would you like to come to lunch?" Now, everybody here knows as a Rotarian that when you get that phone call that says, "Would you like to come to lunch?" what they're actually saying is, "Would you like to join Rotary?" But I hadn't learned that at the time, so I went along for lunch. And became a Rotarian. And I've been absolutely delighted to have done that. But it's been an interesting journey because obviously, because I do have a bit of an accent, it was quite difficult initially in my club because, to be perfectly frank, they didn't understand a lot of what I said. And it wasn't just, you know, I think that the Brits and the Americans are divided by the same language. We're supposed to speak English, but there are a lot of differences. So it was quite a journey for me, but one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, I can assure you. So here's an indication of where you can get the wrong end of the stick. In the moonlight, your teeth look just like pearls. Okay, so who's Pearl and what are you doing in the moonlight with her? You see how we actually say something and it can be completely misconstrued. I think that, you know, George Bernard Shaw put it very well. The single biggest problem with communication is the illusion it has taken place. What he meant was when we actually are communicating, sometimes we are actually talking and thinking that we're getting a point across, but what's being heard is not what we're saying. And it's something that comes up an awful lot, and we have to be very guarded about it. It's very important to have great communication. From great communication comes great teams, from great teams come great leaders, and so we go on. So if we're communicating with members, I'm going to break this down into members, non-members, resources. So when we're communicating with members, it's important to remember that we're in a family. We're courteous within our own family. We should be courteous within our Rotary family. It's important to be clear, courteous, and four-way tested. You know, we don't just say the four-way test just because it's a way to start the meeting or to end a meeting. It actually has meaning. And we should actually four-way test ourselves when we're dealing with one another. Clear in as much as, you know, it's not just what we think we're saying. We've got to be made understood what we are saying. Being empathetic, obviously, careful of others and mindful of others, friendly and respectful because we are a fellowship. And we must consult. You know, when you're leading a club, one of the most important elements to remember is that Rotary is made up of experiences. And these experiences are what we all contribute to. Everybody in the club contributes to the experience that we all have. And if the experience is good, let's face it, we love being in Rotary if the experiences are good. And we are all part of making those experiences. But we also have expectations. We've got to get a return on the fact that we are a member. You know, that return can be in as much as, you know, we love what we do, or we love the fellowship. You know, we love that project that our club does, and we have fun at the meetings. But we've got to get a return. So to get a return, we've got to understand what our members want. So consultation is an important part of that. So I know that people tend to go, oh no, not another survey. But you know, surveys don't have to be complicated, and surveys can be done over a period of time. You know, if you actually ask the club, hey, you know, what do you like about this club? Just write down one thing you like about this club. You know what? Every member will write down the thing that they like the best. That's a wonderful source of information as to how well the club is doing. Following week, you can always ask, what do you not like about this club? Because it's just important to know what is actually not happening in the club that perhaps some people would want. You know, a very, very simple short survey is, what do you like? What do you not like? What would you like to see? And what would you like us not to do anymore? You know, it's 4 simple questions, and it's not onerous, it's not difficult to do, but the information you get from that can make the club so much stronger. So communicating through survey is one way to actually improve things. When we're talking to potential members, and I would ask you to encourage all of the members in your club to actually do it. Talk to potential members and be an honest broker. You know, too many people come into Rotary and they join and they leave within a very short period of time because didn't meet their expectancy, or they actually don't think that they were it was explained to them fully. So be an honest broker. But the most important thing is we need to talk to potential members, and we need to talk to them in a way that they recognize that Rotary is made up of people just like them. We need people like you. And that's very, very important. Telling your Rotary story is so important. I love the fact of telling my Rotary story, or elements of it, because it personalizes and people can empathize with what you're saying, and it makes them think about, well, maybe I should join as well. You know, I often tell the story when I was president. I thought, you know, we're going to pizzazz up the meetings a bit, you know, and I would tell the joke, and I would actually notice that after I would tell the joke, it was almost like a Mexican wave thing. You know, the table on the right-hand side would start laughing, and then it would slowly move around the room as they explained what I was saying, because they didn't really understand what I'd actually said. And it taught me that I had to, one, talk slower, which I'm not doing tonight because I'm trying to catch up time, but, you know, talk slower, think about the words that I was using. But you know, when we're actually talking to potential members or the general public, telling your story in Rotary is a great way to get them interested in Rotary. Communicating with resources, and please remember that all these resources are there for you. You know, your directors and coordinator teams. There's coordinator teams for public image, for membership, and also for the foundation. You've got district officers, obviously, and the governor line. These are all important people for you to communicate with, particularly if you're having problems, but not only if you're having problems, but obviously if you've got achievements. It's most important to communicate that, because you know, your district leadership really do want to hear about the great things that you're doing. It's important to build up the. And of course, there are Rotary International headquarters staff, like the Club and District Support, which is CDS, and your regional membership officer. Now they're in blue because they are paid staff. And I wanted to actually highlight the fact that the ones in red are all volunteers, just like you. And therefore, it doesn't mean to say that we deal with each other differently, but we should recognize, you know, who are the volunteer base within Rotary. So how about communicating with your community? You know, this is the most important element. And I know that I'm sort of going on about communicating with a membership bent, because that's what I've been doing for so many years. You know, actually communicating with the community is so important, because that community is not only the people that we serve and do a lot of great things for, but it is also our sales area. And that's where our members are going to come from. So we've got to be bold. We've got to let them know what we're doing. Bordering on boastful, that's something that we've been terrible at in Rotary. We've sort of just been a bit shy. We don't like to boast. We don't like to pat ourselves in the back. But it is so important when you're communicating with the community that you actually let them know what is being achieved within the community and beyond. And letting them know will perhaps perk their interest and help with your membership. So you need to be consistent, and you need to do it often. One of the actual elements to see with the strong clubs is how much they are in connection with the community that they're in. I'm very proud of the Rotary Club that I'm in, but I'm even more proud to say that my community is proud of the Rotary Club. And I think that's something that should ask, is our community proud of our Rotary Club? Because if they are, it means that you're getting your message out. They know what you're doing, and it's so important, as I say, because that's your sales area. And we've got to emphasize that it's welcoming. You know, for so many people going up to a Rotary Club for that first time, that trepidation as they open the door, they don't know what's on the other side. They don't know that it's well. You've got to let them know that the community are welcome at the Rotary Club. That's how we get growth. You know what? I'm talking past here. This is something that I also learned. I've never learned a darn thing while I'm talking. I only learn something while I'm listening, and it is something to always remember that when we're communicating, it is a two-way traffic. You know, so general communication. Be an active listener. It is so important for us to actually hear what's being said. When your members are talking to you, you know, it's important to actually hear what they're saying, but also watch for the non-verbal cues. You know, that our communication is 35% verbal, 65% non-verbal, because we're actually looking at people, how they're conducting themselves, whether their hands are moving, how their faces, are they happy about what they're saying, or are they angry? It's so important that we look for those non-verbal cues when we're communicating with our members. So, as I was saying, it's not a one-way street. We've got to listen as much as we talk. That's where we get, and that is what a conversation is, after all. We've got to actually listen to other people's point of view, be respectful of other points of view, and it's amazing what we can learn from others. And treat us at one-on-one. What I mean by treating as a one-on-one, if you're actually in a club situation and you've got maybe a 10-minute speech to give, I often look for the person that's actually got the broadest smile. I don't like to look at the one that I see the top of his head, because he's probably on a telephone, and that's very disconcerting. But I'll look for the one that's got the biggest smile, looks most engaged. And you know what? That is absolutely fine. I remember giving a talk to this group, and there was a lady down at the front, and she was hanging on absolutely every word I said. And I thought, wow, I'm really connected. She's really getting the point here. When we actually all finished and we were and leaving, I was actually standing at the door shaking everybody's hand, and she came over to me and she said, you know what, I have no idea what you said, but I loved the way you said it. And it was a great lesson to me, that, sometimes that visual can be a little bit confusing. But I had actually picked on her, and I think I gave a better talk because I thought that I was connecting with her. So even if you're talking to a large room, pick on somebody. It's quite an interesting way to do it. Got to read your audience. If you're running long and people start looking at the watch, you got to read your audience and connect with your audience. When you start out, sometimes a little story and an aside is so very, very important on the general communication side. So prepare and practice is so important with any communication. I'm sure that we've all gone to Rotary clubs. I've seen them where you go in and the president's sitting at the front and he's writing out what he's going to do that meeting. That kind of worries me, I have to say, and I'm sure we've all seen it. You may have to make amendments because somebody says, I wonder if I could have 2 minutes to do this. I understand all that. But that preparation that you have for a meeting, when we actually consider that the meeting that you have that week is, for most, that is their connection to Rotary. It's so important that that meeting is valuable. It respects the value of their time, but also gives them content which is pertinent and relevant. And so preparation, great. And make it a performance, make it fun. These meetings should be, and by fun, that doesn't mean to say necessarily it has to be jokes, but it should deliver on the expectancy. So how about this? How come you never say you love me anymore? I told you once, if anything changes, I'll let you know. It's so often, we actually assume that people understand where we're going with something, and we should never do that. Clear communication is so very, very important. Choosing the way that you communicate. We've tended to forget a little bit about that spoken word. Particularly during this pandemic, we've been on Zoom for so long. That personal contact is so very important. depending on the message that you want to deliver, you have to consider, is this an email? Is this a phone call? Or is this something that we should talk about face to face? You know, particularly with your board, you know, in preparations, you know, that face to face element, you can get your point across so much better because you can see those non-verbal cues. That element is so important. So deciding by which method, now I understand that in 70/20 there are geographic elements that have to be brought into consideration. But do be careful. I mean, obviously you can have almost a one-on-one on a Zoom, and so that is another way. You see that there's a newsletter there. I don't know how many people still do newsletters. I'm an old guy. I love newsletters, but one thing about newsletters is they should be short and snappy because people don't have time these days to read long. But thinking about the way we communicate is very, very important. And there are so many different mediums. One of the most horrific things to do is to go through Rotary Club's websites. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. You know, you actually go on these websites and they are so out of date. You know, what does that say about us? What does that say about the club? When, you know, if they're generic, that's not so bad. But if you've got a project on there and it's 3 years old, it really is sending a bit of a message. So I would ask everybody to have a look at their websites, you know, keeping Facebook up to date. And, you know, getting in the local press is still very, very good. But please remember, when you're doing a project in your community, put that sign up that says Rotarians at work. So very important to do that. Let people know, look at the Rotarians, they're out there in the midday sun doing that great work. And, you know, that speaks legends. So let's make sure that we communicate even when we're doing projects. How many of you have actually had someone come up and say, what are you doing here? And when you tell them, say, how did you get involved in that? Well, you join us. It's amazing, yeah, how that works. So using social media, I said earlier about a successful club. Successful clubs generally these days have a great social media program. And I'm a great exponent of actually getting social media in your club to get together with the membership team and put together joint projects to develop your club. So this is the last word. You'll be glad to hear. And it's by way of a joke. And what it is somebody said to me that I sounded like an owl. And I said, who? They said, see, you do. So with that, I want to apply for the worst joke told at PETS 2021, and I'll hand the screen back on that.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, PDG George, for that excellent presentation. Really enjoyed it. As always, it's great inspiration to hear you speaking about communication, effective communication. Up next, we have none other than our own Rotary International Director-elect, past District Governor Jeremy Hurst, who is going to speak to us about our very important project that's going on in Haiti, putting putting District 7020 on the map, which is none other than our hand wash project, Haiti National Water and Sanitation and Hygiene Project. So PDG, Jeremy, the floor is all yours.
Future and past district leaders. And most importantly, in Rotary International President Shaker's words, change maker presidents. That's who you are, the change maker presidents elect, secretaries elect, and treasurers elect. I'm delighted to have been asked to talk to you this evening about a program that's very dear to my heart and also to your heart, to District 7020's heart, hand wash. But firstly, let me reconfirm this is not hand wash with a D. Sure, it's about sanitation and hygiene and involves washing your hands, but most importantly at this point, it's about the supply of clean water. Hand wash, in fact, stands for the Haiti National Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Strategy. And it is indeed, it's a bold vision for the future, where all the citizens of Haiti have universal and sustainable access to safely managed drinking water and sanitation, and promotes good hygiene practices across the whole of Haiti forever. This is an audacious goal indeed, a big hairy one, I've heard it described by some. It will be a multi-decade commitment, and our current projections show that it will take at least 25 years. So it's rivaling M-Polio in some ways at a multi-billion-dollar cost. Currently, we think around $2.3 billion. We plan to achieve this by developing and implementing a business-based model, business-based, not just charitable, for public and private sector collaboration. And that's a bit different, and I'll explain why later. The aim will also be to build capacity in local communities in order to deliver thoughtfully managed, sustainable clean water and sanitation solutions to all the citizens of Haiti, as I said, forever. Again, that's a little different, both in terms of scale and goals. So, this is the challenge right now. The challenge is that basically half of Haiti's water and sanitation infrastructure simply does not function. The country is and has been an out of control recipient of aid funding for many years, most of which sadly only focuses on creating relief by temporary fixes to the problems that exist, rather than building systems that are necessary for the country to function in the long term. The end result of this charity mentality is this: a survey of approximately 3,500 water fountains or kiosks in 2004 showed that only about half have actually worked. Additionally, even today, only 40% of the wells in Haiti are non-functioning or contaminated. So let's look at where we get a water from. Well, we go to the refrigerator, press a button, go to the faucet, or maybe we raise our hand at a restaurant and ask the waiter for water. When it comes to this little girl who lives on the edge of Cavaillon, where we're implementing one of our first pilot programs, it's a bit more of a challenge. She and most others in Haiti, including mothers and children, don't have it quite so easy. The water kiosk at the end of her street was damaged in the earthquake and hasn't worked since. Instead, she hikes 20 minutes to a spring and 20 minutes back again over rough terrain, struggling with this heavy yellow 5-gallon container of water to bring it to her family, often twice a day. The parents would love to send her to school. She's 13 years old, but with her mother working in the fields and her father sick, they need her to stay at home to fetch water to cook, clean, look after her little brother and sister. The week before this photograph was taken, a group of young men accosted her and they stole the container she was carrying with the water. She was a lucky one, however, because the year before, her friend was beaten and raped in similar circumstances. It sounds crazy, but she really is one of the lucky ones. 70% of the people in Haiti, unlike Madeleine and her family, do not have access to potable water within a 30-minute walk from their residence. In the rural villages where most Haitians reside, only 1 in 4 have access to a toilet. 2 of 10 million population are forced to regularly practice open-air defecation. As a result, waterborne illnesses such as typhoid, cholera, and dehydration through chronic diarrhea account for 50% of the deaths in Haiti. This is the unfortunate reality of not only many citizens of Haiti, but of many citizens of our district. The problem is quite simply that charity in Haiti has failed, and it's time for a sustainable solution that can once and for all resolve the water and sanitation dilemma of short supply and high demand. And this could serve as a blueprint for, of course, other developing countries. Before the 2010 earthquake, there were 4,000 NGOs in Haiti, and after the earthquake, 22,000 each trying to carve a little piece of the charitable pie out. Unfortunately, very few of them taken on the mindset of what's best for the country as a whole. This photo was taken during our last visit to Haiti in January 2020. It's next to a school in Les Cayes where PDG Robert and the Rotary Club of Les Cayes did a project providing school desks. The pump you see in the photograph there was installed less than 3 years ago by some well-meaning NGO. It doesn't work. Neither does the lawnmower that sits next to it. But even greater significance and concern, if you look north of the pump, there's a white and blue structure, is a water kiosk that's connected to the city water system. That doesn't work either. That broke about 5 years ago. So rather than spend the funds, $20,000, which it takes to drill a well and support a well to fix the existing system, this NGO or church, or maybe even a well-meaning international Rotary Club, simply spend another $20,000 to do another well. And this is happening week in, week out in every village in Haiti and in many other places in the world. Our goal is to bring these organizations together. We need to think about sustainability, but a national initiative. Move past the idea of simply offering relief and embrace the concept of providing development. And that's the case in many things that Rotary does. By way of further background, the idea behind handwash, these concepts, have been on the minds of many Rotarians in Haiti and internationally for many years. However, it was only fairly recently, in 2018, that our district, District 7020 in Dinipa, the water sanitation regulator for the Haitian government, formed a partnership to collaborate with the vision of universal and sustainable access to safe water for Haitians forever. Handwash was given the mandate to raise funds and pursue projects specifically on a pay-for-service system basis, not charitable, to improve operational and financial sustainability of the wash sector in Haiti. Part of what makes this work possible is Haiti Outreach, an NGO with 30 years experience and led by a Rotarian, my co-chair and friend of the Handwash Steering Committee, Neil Van Dyne. They're experts in transforming community leadership and developing pay-for-service, community-managed wash models. And their success is documented in published literature. Their approach is the base case model we are implementing and looking to eventually replicate and scale up nationally for every commune in Haiti. So whilst we recognize this is a long-term effort, we can't do this ourselves. We want to bring capable Haitian and foreign partners together to mobilize funds, deliver high-quality projects, strengthen the sector capacity. And in this sense, we're the umbrella organization, acting as a coordination backstop to Dinipa, the regulator itself. When we speak with new partners like USAID or the World Bank, we go in with open minds. We listen to learn. We're flexible and we're responsive to new ideas. As we like to say, we're building the plane as we're flying it. But first and foremost, I want to stress that Handwash is a product of the leadership and vision of influential Rotarians in Haiti, our Rotary leadership there, and within District 7020. And I'm so proud to be part of that. Our culture is driven by the Rotary ethos of service above self and the core values that we exhibit in the Rotary Foundation as elsewhere. And our core team is composed of almost entirely of tireless volunteers who contribute their time, expertise, and willingness to build credible and impactful solutions. So what are our goals over the next 3 years? Well, we plan to promote Handwash's values and mission to increase public interest in what we're doing, to deliver successful projects based upon our model of collective action in 7 municipalities. We also intend to improve our model, if you like. At the same time, strengthen the capacity of stakeholders to develop, regulate, and coordinate this sector, because we don't have water authorities like we have across the Caribbean and other places in other developed world. Our strategy is to position Handwash as a credible, impactful umbrella organization which creates diverse, capable, transparent, and accountable partnerships to achieve its goals. So how do we do this? Well, it begins with a systemic, technically driven approach to gathering current data through community assessments, creating local, socially driven solutions. First, we look about collecting data on the ground with our operatives, whether it be Rotaractors or Rotarians, our Handwash ambassadors from the clubs or other NGOs. They use an app on their cell phone called mWater. These volunteers walk through the communities of the village and they map all the water resources in the village. They approach a water pump or kiosk, they take a photo on their cell phone, and through satellite imagery record its exact coordinates and location. They then try the pump and code it as either functional or broken. They take out a test kit and instantly can determine if the water is safe or E. coli poisoned. We now know the status of all water sources in a given community. We then use Google Maps to show the location of each dwelling and lay this over the map water source data. We then have accurate data on the level of access to clean water in each community in Haiti. And my fellow Rotarians, we've done this so far in 40% of the country, and recently signed an agreement with the Haitian government to use our system, do it across 100% of the country over the next 3 years. But we couldn't do this alone, as I said. It's an audacious goal. And even with all the wonderful Rotary clubs we have in Haiti, the support of our Super District 7020 and other champion districts across the world, you'll see some of them at the bottom there. Even with all this support and the support of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation, we won't be able to do this by ourselves. We're going to need partners. And some of these partners you can see here, they'll become an essential component and an integral part of our NDA. But of course, we have a highly credible track record in partnering. If you look at Empoleon and some of the quality of partners we have there, this is exactly the model that we intend to bring to the table for Handwash, and we're doing it right now. So let's look at some of our successes in our pilot project portfolio. As I said, it's our intention to scale up, and we're doing that right now, both internally and within our structure, an organizational structure, as well as geographically across Haiti. We've now expanded our list of the 4 initial pilot communes to 7, with the additions of Les Cayes, Léogâne, and Pignon. And our goal right now is to get it right in these communities first. You'll see their location on the map in red. Of course, our goal is for the whole map to become red one day, or maybe blue and gold, the Rotary colors. So here's a few examples of what we're doing in the pilot communes. In Cavaillon, the first one here, we've built the capacity and professionalism of the water systems professional operator, an essential component of this pay-for-service system we're talking about, moving away from toxic charity. We've invested in the office there, and we've seen an amazing uptake in terms of their efficiency and their ability to deliver clean water in Cavaillon. We're supporting rural areas too. In Cavaillon's rural areas, we've coordinated the building of 3 new wells so far. 2 wells have been repaired. Committees have been established for the community-based management programs, which are so important for sustainability. A total of 1,250 people are now far better served by these investments and get clean water. The inauguration of these wells is scheduled for May 2021, and the total budget there is about $230,000. In the second Cavaillon grant that we're working on, we've invested $330,000 in the municipal water system. This has directly led to 2/3 of the customers there now paying their bills. Now that may sound crazy to us, because why wouldn't everyone be paying their bills? But this is the biggest problem we face from a cultural perspective in Haiti, where toxic charity from the past has created an environment where past customers do not feel they need to pay their bills or should pay their bills. Now, of course, this is largely linked to the fact that the service they receive is terrible. Most of the customers on the system only receive waters for a couple of hours a day, and a few days a week, or have done in the past. Now, Handwash has reversed this trend. In Pignon, in Cavaillon, in the other communes we work in, and recently the World Bank reported that 2 best-run systems, water systems in Haiti, are indeed 2 of our pilot programs, Pignon and Cavaillon. We're very proud of that. So we're going in the right direction. Furthermore, in the small comune of Ferrier in the northeast coast, one area very close to the coast has absolutely no reliable clean water, even from wells, as the aquifer is polluted by saline lens. We're currently funding a global grant of $530,000 to bring a totally new water system to that area. This will bring clean water to the community of 5,000 residents, something they've never had before. In Pignon, we're working with the local mayor's office to reactivate the municipal water system, which was in need of serious upgrades in order to be able to deliver a real service 24/7. Most recently, we've installed a leak detection system and a management system, which will help reduce non-revenue water, which is in other words, leaks, from 70%, that's 70% of the water is leaking out, to 30%. And of course, we're aiming to reduce that to 0 as time goes on. The system's operator is receiving training to improve management and technical skills. And this is all funded by a $385,000 global grant, which is actually in the process of its final submission. Our model is designed around Rotarians in Haiti, organized, as we know, into 22 Rotary clubs and 14 Rotaract clubs. It's very important. We're involving Rotaractors in this as well. They're our partners, our equal partners. And the vision of Handwash is that each commune in Haiti is to be matched with a club, positioning Rotarians as agents for change for WASH, water and sanitation and hygiene. We then throw the weight of Handwash and our partners behind the clubs to support them and strengthen their capacity to advocate for WASH. Over the past 3 years, this innovative Hand Wash Ambassador program has worked to establish a Hand Wash champion in each club, supported by a committee of fellow Rotarians. And in this way, Hand Wash creates a foothold in nearly every area of the country, so Rotarians can spark conversations about washing their communities, the places they call home, and when they're respected. Hand Wash has an entire team devoted to engaging Rotarians as Hand Wash ambassadors, training and supporting them. Not all of our clubs are strong, so our model includes peer-to-peer support between clubs and Rotarians. As in Ferrier, for example, where AG Margaret from the Rotary Club of Cap Haitian is providing strong leadership for the club of Wanamant, working into the Ferrier area. So what are our objectives for this year? Well, we have a lot. A few of them, we'll be publishing and sharing our business plan externally. We want to strengthen the Hand Wash Ambassador program, refresh and design our website. It's important that we're out with faces, that we attract those donors, those partners. We also want to validate the national baseline of data collected by UNEPA. What that means simply is that we're using our methods, they're adopting our methods to go and map the whole of Haiti, as I mentioned, with that mapping system, so we know where we stand. We want to develop a capacity building program, and we want to complete the commune action plans in 7 pilot communes, mobilize up to $2 million, build partnerships, and convene our annual workshop with DINEPA. It's important we keep communications open. But this is not just about water, of course. We're taking it from the ground, but we also need to talk about replenishing it. We also need to talk about other environmental factors, and Hand Wash has a key role in supporting the environment as well. So some of you may have seen this aerial photograph of the border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I'll give you no prizes for guessing which side is Haiti, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this deforestation is significantly contributed to by the need to cut down trees, to create charcoal, to light the fires that are needed to boil the water, to clean it, so Haitians, like the little girl and her family saw earlier, can drink. Deforestation significantly increases groundwater runoff, soil erosion, and affects crop productivity. It also means that the water does not permeate and replenish the aquifers, and so the downward spiral continues. Hand Wash is taking water from these aquifers, so it's our responsibility to help replenish them. And I'm happy to announce that over the past few weeks, we've entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of the Environment there, with whom we'll partner alongside ESRAG, which is the Environmental Sustainability Rotarian Action Group, to do significant reforestation programs in our pilot communes. Of course, the other environmental benefit to not only Haiti, but to the marine ecosystems across the whole Caribbean is that by providing clean water at a source, Hand Wash will be able to reduce the number of these small plastic bags that are given away with water inside them or plastic bottles by charitable solutions, as charitable solutions. Unfortunately, most of these end up in Haiti streams, rivers, and eventually in our Caribbean Sea. Once again, as Hand Wash does its job across the country, we can have a massive impact, not only on water and sanitation, but supporting the environment in line with the goals of Rotary's latest area of focus. So how can you help? Well, and some of you have been doing this already, and I want to thank you as clubs and your clubs for doing so. We'd love you to donate something to Hand Wash annually, sort of like you do every Rotarian every year. Alternatively, do a fundraiser to support a global grant. Encourage your members to join a Hand Wash subcommittee. It's not just about your treasure, it's also about your talent. We have some tremendously talented Rotarians across the District 7020. We'd like them to get involved. Believe me, and we have places for you. The other thing you can do is adopt or co-adopt a well. What does that mean? Well, I'll talk to you about it in a second, but more importantly, I should introduce you to the Hand Wash District 7020 engagement team. Also, they are the Hand Wash co-chairs for District 7020. And you'll recognize the face this past district, immediate past district governor, Dalma, and past assistant governor, Lindsay. They've been doing a phenomenal job representing District 7020 on the Hand Wash steering committee, which I chair, and to the Hand Wash board. And I'm not going to talk too much in detail about this, but as mentioned, we'd like your clubs to part either individually or to partner to adopt a well. So what I'd like you to do is to invite Lindsay and Dalma to deliver a presentation to your club to explain how to do so. But lastly, also, I want to thank, in that sense, the Rotary Club of St. Martin for having already stepped up to the table and donated $20,000 to become the first club in our district to adopt a well. Thank you, St. Martin. So let me offer some final thoughts. Remember this little girl. Because of Rotary, because of HandWash, she no longer has to travel 20 minutes to find clean water. She's able to get it in a short walk from her home at the kiosk that HandWash has recently reactivated in partnership with UNICEF at the end of her street. It's part of Cavion's new working water system. Her mother no longer needs to use charcoal from cut trees to boil water to make it safe to drink. Her father is no longer crippled regularly with diarrhea and other waterborne illnesses. He's now able to go to work. And Madeline and her brothers and sister are able to attend school, and in the future, have a chance to be able to attend college. My fellow Rotarians, this is indeed an audacious goal, but one I think that no one, and I mean no one, could take this on but us, but District 7020 in the Rotary world. No one has yet been able to break this cycle of poverty. No one until now, until Rotary International is its partners working through your District 7020. Change maker, presidents-elect, secretaries-elect, treasurers-elect, change makers. Rotary's vision speaks to all of HandWash's goals. So let's serve to create change, lasting change in ourselves, in our communities, and across the globe. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you about HandWash today. I hope you join us on our journey to giving clean water, sanitation, and hygiene to all the citizens of Haiti forever. Thank you.
Thank you, PDG Jeremy, for those inspiring words. It's great to have leadership like yours in Rotary International and in representing our district and certainly representing Haiti as a whole. I want to give a challenge out there to all the clubs to try and put that on your agenda for next year to adopt a well. So that we can do our part as Rotarians of District 7020 and lead the rest of the world and lead by example. So thank you so much, PDG Jeremy. PAG Cheryl, you are on. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasant good evening, and bonjour, mes amis. Greetings from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And again, I am PAG Cheryl Chance, District 7020 Health and Wellness Chair at your service. Let me begin by wishing you a healthy, enjoyable, and peaceful evening. Please continue to stay safe and well. A big shout out to all the incoming club leaders. Thank you for answering the call to serve. And just know that your district leadership team has got your back. PDG Louis did remind us of that in his welcome address Monday evening. So in the interest of time, I will not go into polio in any great degree other than to say we at 7020 continue to work diligently at polio eradication efforts, and we are definitely making things happen. So kindly permit me to continue our conversation by asking you this question. And just think about it for the next few minutes. If given the ability to have your best life, what would that be in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? Fellow Rotarians, as you may know, the Rotary movement is dedicated to 7 areas of focus, and District 7020 has delved into disease prevention and treatment with vigor and vitality because our lives depend on it, period. 7020 Health and Wellness Initiative is the brainchild of past District Governor Delma Maduro. Now in its second year of startup with DG Charles, his focus is childhood obesity. And I guarantee you that DGE Louis will continue to make health and wellness a priority for us in the district. This endeavor is transformative in the Rotary movement, as it will serve humanity in ways that we have not experienced before. And guess what? You have a front row seat to the action to help blaze the trail and champion the cause, to lead the efforts, both large and small, to promote wellness, healthy communities, and bring some hope to those who may feel hopeless. We have been living in the ravages of a health epidemic for so long, and it has taken control of our region, our world, our very beings. And now with this pandemic, we have yet another malady to endure. Fellow Rotarians, good family health is mission critical to all of us. More so now than ever. And what we choose to do today will impact generations to come. Our lifestyle determines about 70% of what happens to us. The other 30% is determined by all the other things, our genes, our environment, our medical care, etc. So just imagine for a moment if our lifestyle was a healthy one. And here's the thing, you can be the ultimate game changer in how those percentages flow. And here's some more assuring news. Your district health and wellness team can assist you on your journey to a healthy lifestyle. Our team, District 7020 Champions for Change, is ready to engage, empower, and inspire you along your way. But before I discuss options for a pathway to a healthy lifestyle, let me just mention one other important impediment of good family health: childhood obesity. Now, you know, growing up in Caribbean communities, we would hear our elders say, oh, you know, the fattest babies are the healthiest babies, right? Not so. Not so at all. There is healthy weight, and then there's obesity. Here's why this is dangerous. Obesity puts our babies in ways that are very harmful and create health problems that were once considered adult problems. Diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and other chronic diseases. So therefore, fellow Rotarians, we must arrest, prevent, and eradicate type 2 diabetes. How can we do that, you may ask? Well, let's start by defining or redefining our own health path to a healthy lifestyle. Listen, this may seem overwhelming for some of us, and I get it, but it is doable. A main focus of the District Health and Wellness Initiative is to combine a strategy that brings people, access, and resources together so you can have and achieve the desired outcomes for a healthy lifestyle, the one that you choose. So how do we get there? Our team does understand that health and wellness is not a one-size-fits-all. Each of us would need a personal approach that works for who we are. For example, how we live, how we eat, how we emote, how we think, and how we move is all unique to each and every one of us. That said, we share then a very fresh perspective that allows for empowerment to re-educate ourselves about health and wellness, and simply because, well, good health is everyone's right, Rotarians included. I am sharing all this information with you so that you can get a real good understanding and appreciation for the relevance and purpose of this initiative. And while we are sharing, let me just tell you what we are not. We are not the food police. Our role is not to tell you what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. We will advocate for your well-being and inspire you whenever you choose that pathway to a healthy lifestyle. And we will also cheer you on. Listen, as Caribbean people, I do understand that food has cultural. Many of the important things in our lives are centered around food. I get it, I get it. Therefore, our objective isn't to get you to stop eating in your cultural, societal, and historical ways, but rather to have us reevaluate how we use food to benefit us nutritionally, to nourish our bodies, our brains, our eyes, our hearts, our kidneys, our livers, and our limbs. So consequently, one of our focal points is nutrition, a major component of a healthy lifestyle. Furthermore, the program design that we have adopted takes a look at the healthy lifestyle components and how they may work together to enhance our total well-being. And this framework, fellow Rotarians, is a powerful tool to help us achieve our goals and objectives. The impact of this tool can be life-changing. To reimagine a holistic approach. Our wellness team will have the required engagement, education, and in some cases, re-education, inspire and motivate you, and use your energy to help us become your biggest cheerleader. Another tool and useful resource that we will have available for us to use is a wellness app. Because honestly, some of us will need some assistance with our journey. Currently, the prototype is being designed with you in mind to ensure that your needs and expectations are met. And before we launch this app at 7020, rest assured, our committee will be asking Rotarians for feedback and input, because we want to be sure that we know what is best for you. This tool can serve as the app, your buddy app, that will totally allow you to be interactive, lets you set your milestones, monitor your progress, and most importantly, let you work at your own pace. So, from time to time, I might send you a quick survey, 1 or 2 questions, ask you something about How can the app best serve you? What would you like us to have in the app? How can we do this better for you? What do you like most? What don't you like? And so forth. Just reply real quickly because we're building this designed especially for you. I really, really want to share my excitement with this app because it is a game changer for 70/20. And you know, a lot of work and effort happens on our behalf by a very dynamic and special group of Rotarians. We have 5 physicians, 3 CCDEs, which is our Caribbean Certified Diabetes Educators. We have 4 district leaders on our team, 1 pharmacist, and 1 healthcare provider who serves 4 hospitals and 8 health centers in the western region of Jamaica. We also have a Rotaractor on our team. And guess what? There's more room at the table for others who are interested in this area of service. We welcome nurses, we welcome people from the community, as well as dietitians, nutritionists. We'd like to have fitness trainers join us, wellness coaches, caregivers, diabetes advocates, and persons living with diabetes as well. All is welcome to be part of the Champions for Change in District 70/20. And I'm putting out a special call. I would like to have Anguilla and Turks and Caicos at the table. We're holding a seat there for you. So please share that word, fellow Rotarians, to those islands as you interact and communicate with them. In closing, let me just say that we commend Rotary International for making disease prevention and treatment one of its 7 areas of focus. And our district leadership takes this area of focus very seriously. DGE Louis, incoming First Lady Amanda, and several clubs in our district are already champions for change in working on education, awareness, prevention, and treatment of diabetes and other chronic diseases in your communities. Your efforts in moving your community to becoming healthier Caribbean people does not go unnoticed. I encourage you then to have a health and wellness committee in your club to plan, execute, and manage your members' benefits. Also, include health and wellness in your club's strategic plan if you haven't already done so. It is mission critical. And let me reiterate, good health, fellow Rotarians, is everyone's right. Therefore, I encourage you to take control of your health using the resources that our district has available for you. And I ask that you evaluate how you approach health and wellness. And as you continue to think about the question I posed earlier in the discussion, what your best life would be like 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, do include District 70/20 Health and Wellness Initiative in your action plan on your way to a healthy lifestyle. Because we all deserve to have and live the very best life ever. And so with that, I want to just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Merci, merci, merci.
Thank you, PAG Cheryl. And you forgot Donkeyville. So it's thank you very much. And hey, I can't believe I'm excited about that app. I am really excited about that app. I think it's a great idea. So hats off for the great team and the work that you're doing, PAG Cheryl, because that is an amazing idea. So well done. So you're on mute, Cheryl, but that's okay. I can see you.
Coming your way, so stay tuned, all. Stay tuned.
Amen. Amen. There's also some comments in the chat, PAG Cheryl. I saw President-elect Gretchen from the Rotary Club Sunrise of Rotown had a comment on there that said she's on board and wanting to assist as a registered nurse, so or as a retired registered nurse. So take her up on that.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. So congratulations. PAG Marcelia, all the way from Saint Martin. You are on membership, attraction, and engagement. PAG Marcelia, the floor is yours. I know you've got an amazing presentation coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. And a pleasant good evening to one and all. And I have heard exceptional presentations before, and I hope that this presentation on membership, attraction, engagement will also be as informative and also something that you can take away as you, as the incoming presidents, secretaries, and treasurers, take on the leadership position for your various clubs. So we're going to look tonight at various membership attraction and engagement strategies for you to consider as you begin your year as the leader of your club. So I will start off by saying that membership is our greatest asset as Rotarians, as Rotary clubs. And it is our greatest asset because by the members that we have in our clubs, that the members that we attract, the members that we maintain, we are able to ensure that our community benefits from those exceptional projects that you, I know, will have planned for the 2021-2022 year. This evening, I'm going to look at district growth because I feel it's necessary as incoming leaders that you are aware as to where we are now and where we possibly can be at the end of the Rotary year. We're going to look at the impact of our virtual reality, how that has caused us to be creative, innovative, and yet continue to grow membership within our district. We're going to look at intentional strategies for membership attraction, membership engagement, and then finally, if time permits, we will quickly look at possible membership resources that you can utilize to grow your club in your new year. Firstly, I need to make you aware that our District 7020, at the beginning of the 1st of July, we were 2,381 members strong, and at current, we are 2,581 members. A net change, increase of 200 members. So we have to congratulate our district for continuing to grow our membership in spite of the pandemic that we have encountered. I also want to make you aware once more that our club has 4 new clubs. 4 new clubs that we have been able to charter within this particular Rotary year. We have the Pettonville South in Haiti, we have Central Tortola, we have the South Ocean in Bahamas, and we also have the Green Island Sunrise in Jamaica. Again, all of them starting strong in terms of their chartering of their club with over 20 members. Congratulations to those clubs. Because of our COVID-19 situation and the pandemic, it impacted our reality as Rotarians. We found ourselves having to change our meeting purposes, our meeting format, the venue in which we meet. Some members now have returned to face-to-face meetings, but then there are clubs that have continued to be online, and whilst there are others who have let's say, innovatively or willingly accepted the hybrid approach. We also have clubs who have reduced their frequency in meeting. Some have continued to meet on a weekly basis, but again, this is the prerogative of the club based on our present reality. Clubs as well have made their attendance more relaxed, meaning that they have allowed their members to be able to, in relation to makeups, for instance, they have extended time. Some of them have even eliminated membership attendance in totality, but nonetheless, the clubs continue to go strong. The clubs, because of a virtual reality, have also changed in terms of their physical structure as to what they were originally at the beginning of this Rotary year. Some of them have become hybrid, as I mentioned. Some of them have become satellite. Some of them have become e-clubs. Some of them have become Carson-based, but nonetheless, our clubs within our district continue to grow strong. And what I can say with the clubs within our district as well, we have been gathering members from different areas, different resources, attracting Rotaractors, attracting young professionals, attracting family members and corporate members. Again, compliments to the various clubs. But now, as you begin your Rotary year, as the leader of your club, it's important that you take a look at what can I do as the president of this club, what can I do as the leader of this club to attract and recruit members. One thing I'm going to say to you at this moment, you have to look at membership attraction as a public relations initiative, meaning that you have to promote your club. You have to promote Rotary. You have to see membership as a way to engage your entire club. Membership is everybody's business. I also want to make you aware that as the incoming leaders, it's important that you develop a strategic plan, establish a budget for recruitment activities and events. I need you to start thinking as to how many members am I going to have joining my club for the 2021-2022 year. I want you to establish, if you have not done so, or if you have not solicited members yet, I need you to start creating your membership committee. I want you to also appoint a membership chair who will lead this membership club to strategically come up with ideas to strengthen, to grow, and retain the members within your club. And then I'm also going to challenge you, presidents, secretaries, incoming treasurers, leaders of your club, to develop a membership plan. Membership plan with clear goals, clear objectives, a club that has a committee that intentionally think creatively as to how I'm going to continue to push my club even further. I also want you to keep in mind as well that it is essential as the incoming leaders that you conduct an analysis of your club. I need you to analyze the atmosphere within your club. Are your members satisfied with the projects that are being executed at this moment, with the activities, with the structure of meetings, etc.? It is essential that as you begin to put together your membership plan, your membership goals, that you also take the time as well to analyze where you are. And by doing so, you will be able to come up with ideas as to how you will be enhancing your club experience for the 2021-2022. As you're doing this analysis as well, it is important that you also take a look at the classification, the professions within your club, and see what else is missing from my club. Who else do we need to target? Which vocation are we missing within our respective club? And what are we going to do to attract those individuals? So analysis of your club is also essential. As you're analyzing your club as well, it is important that you think of ways how you will create positive experiences for those prospective members, that you know will help to grow and strengthen your club. It is also important with your analysis process that you also evaluate those activities, those events, those projects that you execute. And then you need to determine what project do I need to stop? What projects do I need to start? What projects do I need to continue? And this is necessary after the analysis has taken place. Because of tradition, we might be continuing a particular project or particular activity or structuring our meeting a particular way. But is that beneficial to our club? Is that going to enable us to attract new members and recruit others? Then I also want to share with you what is also essential that you include within your membership plan intentional strategies that you can execute as you go about leading your club for that year. One, some possible ones, and I'm going to pick up a few of them due to the limited time that we have due to the time period that I have as well. One, we can have monthly prospective roundups, meaning as every month you're asking your members to submit names of possible persons that can be recruited to your club, and that those names go to your membership chair. And what I want to yet again emphasize, membership is everyone's business. I need you to be able to tell your story in your community newspapers, on your local radio, TV. That is important as well. We have to stop hiding or not safeguarding some of the brilliant, beautiful work that we're doing. The public, the community needs to know what it is that your club does and how they contribute to the enhancement, development of the community. So you might have to advertise some of the service projects your club does and let the community know how you are impacting their club or the community positively. And some other basic things which you should be aware of. Update your club website, your Facebook, your other social media platforms that you utilize. We are accustomed of hosting open house events, Rotary information hours, but then we have to find another way. Do we do this online? Do we do this face-to-face? But how can we do that differently based upon the feedback, the analysis from the club? We can also consider putting together information packages to tell our story. And as George was saying, it's important that we tell our story to others, personalize it. We, as Rotarians, need to do a better job at wearing our Rotary pins, wearing our Rotary shirts, putting up the signage within our businesses, letting persons know that we are Rotarians and we are proud. Just as we see the Lions with their vest on, bright yellow color, we need to do the same. Wear our pins, wear our shirts, put up those labels within the businesses. Let others know we are Rotarian, we are proud, and we are part of this community, and we are contributing to its betterment. Another thing to consider, incentives for members who recruit or who bring in the most members. Is that something we can do? Possibly. Could we have a competition to see who brings in the most members, or the first person to bring in a member? Again, creating a sense of engagement and encouraging, motivating the Rotarians, all Rotarians, all members to get involved. And then one other possibility that can be considered, flexibility as it relates to due structure. So these are just some of the things, some of the strategies that you can include within your membership plan as you move forward to attracting and recruiting members. But then we also have Rotarians that have been in our club for 5 years, 10 years, etc., and even those coming in. And it's important that we engage, not only attract them, we have to engage them. Because as we all are aware of, Rotary has been 1.2 million members for quite a long time. It is important that we not only attract, not only engage, but we continue to grow. And therefore, we have to yet again use intentional engagement strategies. For new Rotarians, organize new members' orientations and sessions so that they can gain a broader view of the Rotary organization and feel pride to be a Rotarian. Make them feel welcome and heard. Ask them for their opinion. Put them to work. Give them a role within the club. Put their skills, their knowledge to work. Organize fun learning experiences and fellowships, which are also important strategies that we must use to keep our new Rotarians engaged. For experienced Rotarians, again, engagement is essential for them also. Ask them to mentor new Rotarians coming into the club. Get them involved with the next generation. Let them pick projects of interest. Ask them their opinion. Value their knowledge and experiences. Ask them what it is that they want, because it's necessary, once again, to keep that communication process open. Organize fellowships. Fellowships are always essential. One of the main reasons that Rotary became the organization that it is today. Provide networking and professional development opportunities for our experienced Rotarians. And this is another way that we keep them engaged, we keep them growing, we keep them involved, we keep them interested in our club activities, and keep them in Rotary, which is also our objective. I'm going to wrap it up by stating, because of the time, as incoming leaders for your club for 2021-2022, it is essential that you continue to obtain further resources, activities, ideas that you can utilize for your membership plan, for your strategic plan that you will be creating. So I'm going to ask you, if you have not done so as yet, visit the RI, the www.rotary.org, and take a look at some of those RI resources that are readily available there. And there are many related to membership that you should make yourself more acquainted with. As you go to My Rotary, Learning and Resource section, you will see come down automatically Learning Center, webinars, different things that you can touch base on. I would even say there is an opportunity for you to subscribe to Rotary Membership Minutes on RI website, which again gives you ideas for your membership attraction and recruitment. I would also say within the My Rotary Learning Resources, under the Learning Center section, there are many learning courses, that you can actually participate in to grow your knowledge base, to get further ideas that you can utilize. Again, another tool to assist you during your Rotary year. And then there are many other activities, many other ideas that are within the RI resources that I'm going to encourage you to go to. So I'm going to skip those because those are also some other ideas from RI website, www.rotary.org, learning and experience header, where you can obtain additional information. And I'm going to end by saying Rotary is a membership organization. So we have to remember, because it is a membership organization, it is everyone's business. Everyone has to participate, and one of the products is service. I thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you so much, PAG Marcelia, for that inspiring message about membership. Always an important message. I often wonder what we're going to do when we get to 1.3 million members all of a sudden, and we've got to change all our marketing material and our mentality really to say we're 1.3 rather than 1.2 million. Let's hope that sometime very soon. All right, well that wraps it up for this evening. I've got some special announcements, so let me bring it up because I'm going to forget half of this stuff if I don't. We will be posting these videos on the District 7020 YouTube page. So please go to the District 70 YouTube page. You can click on the subscribe and click on the little bell for notifications on the District 7020 YouTube page. So when there's new videos that are posted, you'll get an automatic notification for that. See, we're getting into the 21st century. Love it. So Monday night's presentations are already on there. Presentations on Friday, make sure you're here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If Friday's a liming night, so nobody wants to give up an extra hour by showing up at 6:30 rather than 7:30. Yes, I know who you are. We had some, so 7:30 Eastern time, that's 6:30 in Jamaica. 6:30 in Jamaica, 7:30 in the BVI and St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, and USVI, and so on and so forth. And on Friday we have a packed schedule. You don't want to miss PDG Patrick's exciting presentations. Always exciting on foundation. He's my foundation guru, and he's my foundation boss, as I say. So don't miss that presentations. Reporting requirements from PAG Mario on a lot of your reporting requirements. So please, presidents and secretaries, please make sure you show up for that one because that's very important. Public image, you don't want to miss the dynamic district public image chair, William Innes from Cayman. Always entertaining, especially on a Friday night. And of course, it will be mediated by none other than our current AG Yasmin Chung from Jamaica. So that wraps it up for me. And want to thank all our great speakers for today. RI District or Director-elect Jeremy, PAG Cheryl, PDG George, and PAG Marcelia. So I thank everybody for their time, and I look forward to seeing everybody member 7:30 sharp on Friday. I was going to say Saturday, Friday night, 7:30 Eastern time sharp on Friday night. Thanks everybody, and have a great evening.